Providing for the healthcare needs of a developing nation where it is required most, and the demand for trained medical personnel is always insatiable. The teaching manpower that molds our younger generation and nurtures them into responsible adults that will steer Uganda and Africa into a better future. The custodians of the law who guarantee justice thus maintain an orderly, civilized society that enjoys peace and security. The human resource that mans the budding industrial sector, where innovation and skilled workforce will propel the economy to greater industrial development, and the thousands of highly qualified managerial personnel that run the emerging corporate entities. They all graduate from Uganda's educational system, a system that is time-tested, whose standards have been highly regarded since independence.
Right now, most of the population, they discuss education as an issue. Either it's good or it's bad, or they are looking for more education, they are looking for better education. One listens to mass media discussions on education, which was not the case in the past. So the demand for education is a good indication that we have the opportunity and potential to improve the quality.
Education in Uganda starts at the pre-primary level. After years of neglect in the turbulent years of Uganda's history, renewed attention is being given to age groups starting from the age of 2. Promoting early childcare and development up to the age of 8 as an educational policy in Uganda has created buoyant private sector investments in facilities for pre-primary education. Children from the age of 2 can now be put under professional care in the numerous daycare facilities in Uganda, allowing their parents to pursue careers, well assured of professional caregiving and their children's safety. Kampala Junior Academy is one of the modern schools in Kampala, providing care and education to children from the age of 2. The facilities are designed to cater for different age groups. Young children are brought here to have playing companions and learn to socialize with their peers. Lynette Nachimbugwe is turning 4 today. She has chosen to celebrate her birthday with her friends at the daycare she attends before an elaborate celebration with her parents planned for later. With the help of her teacher Zelda Babirie, she cuts her cake and serves her playmates and cousins with whom she attends school. She demonstrates clearly the social skills that the nursery school environment encourages the children to develop, which are no doubt useful as the child grows and progresses into an adult. Talent development is another aspect that is identified and encouraged to flourish even as early as pre-primary. At Happy Tots Kindergarten and Daycare, Cindy Mera has been learning to read music and play the piano. Having demonstrated talent and keen interest in music at early age, only after 3 months tutorage under a professional music teacher, she's already proficient and is now doing rehearsal to perform at the end of the term concert. Children at upper pre-primary level are taught reading and basic numeracy using child-tailored learning tools. They're able to read simple words and do numbers that are suitable for their age group. Child play is given a lot of emphasis since, at this time, most of the learning takes place effectively when kids are engaged in play. Drawing and using different shapes allows growth of artistic skills and is good for self-expression for the younger children. Uganda prides itself for provision of universal access to primary education dating back to 1997, when few developing countries believed that free education for all pupils was possible. When the program was launched, approximately 3 million children were attending primary school.
We have introduced what we call universal access to education. That means that the families are paying less direct costs than they used to. And that has opened doors for many children from different backgrounds to access education.
With the overwhelming response the program received, classrooms in public schools, which had originally been constructed to handle a small number of pupils, became overcrowded. Pupils, attending classes in the open, sometimes with only a tree for shelter and most times with no furniture. Despite the challenges, the numbers kept growing. Today, the number of pupils accessing UPE has reached unprecedented levels, with over 7 million pupils attending primary school.
Right now, we are talking about 85% of school-going children in schools under that program. It's very, very important that we get the population attend school and attain literacy.
Access to free education meant bringing into the fold disadvantaged groups that were hitherto unable to go to school, particularly the girl child and children with disabilities.
When UPE was launched, a clear statement was made that out of the 4 initial beneficiaries of UPE, at least one of them in a home that had such a child had to be a child with disability. Then the other for whom UPE was targeted, or to whom UPE was targeted, were the girls.
Classroom construction and furnishing has been given a lot of emphasis under the School Facilities Grant by government. Classrooms have been constructed since the program started. More enrollment of pupils also meant job creation, made possible by the increasing demand for teachers to fill the massive job openings. The quality of teachers has been improving through the various opportunities for continuous professional development. Refresher courses are carried out during the holidays in primary teachers training colleges for teacher trainers who will in turn train better teachers. Improving the quality of teachers ultimately translates into the quality of education that the pupils receive.
The trained teachers who live out of these colleges come fully equipped with the knowledge and skills on how to deliver the education services at primary level.
The National Curriculum Development Center develops new teaching materials and reviews existing ones under the Ministry of Education. Teaching in lower primary is now done using the new thematic curriculum developed by the National Curriculum Development Center. The teaching materials, some written in mother tongues, allow teaching using the languages pupils understand best, creating a conducive environment for learning to attain value in early childhood development.
We have also moved ahead with making education relevant to the people. That one, we are looking at the school curriculum at both the primary and the secondary level. And we are revising gradually and systematically the school curriculum. At primary level, we are putting emphasis on the literacy skills, where children have to get competencies in writing, in reading, and numeracy.
Textbooks and other teaching materials, crucial aspects of learning and teaching, are provided by government to improve the quality of public education. Recommendations of the appropriate textbooks is done for the private education providers. Children attending secondary education have a wide curriculum to choose from, which is composed of 32 subjects, from which a school selects at least 20 subjects. The subjects must include science and humanities, as well as practical subjects. Students must study at least 8 subjects at the secondary education level, of which sciences are compulsory. A minimum of 3 subjects and subsidiary paper are taken by students at the advanced secondary level.
Next value.
Close to 200,000 students have joined government-aided schools under the Universal Secondary Education. This is a major leap, giving a break to over 60% of the pupils who pass a chance to join post-primary education and training, compared to the 45% who were able to join secondary before the program was introduced. The growing numbers of students attending post-primary education and training has made it necessary for the sector to recruit more teachers and post them to schools in order to enhance increased access and quality education. 41 seed secondary schools are being constructed in sub-counties that do not have any form of secondary schools, so as to guarantee that students in those sub-counties don't miss out on this opportunity.
The policy for universal post-primary education and training is geared at increasing access to secondary education. It has its origin from universal primary education, because universal primary education has been so successful in ensuring that the pupils who access it are as many as possible. We felt that these children who graduate from P7, from primary education, should be provided for an avenue for post-primary.
The push for teaching and learning of science and science-related subjects in secondary schools is high on Uganda's educational agenda. Well-equipped laboratories here at Kibuli Secondary School give both girls and boys an opportunity for hands-on experience in practical chemistry lessons. Today, the Senior 5 chemistry class is being assessed at their end-of-term exam, analyzing volumes of 2 types of reactants.
Here we have all the equipment, we have all the facilities. The administration facilitates in whatever we need, that we can be able to carry out all the experiments, and we can do practically whatever we study theoretically.
The advent of computers makes it feasible for teachers to teach sciences through the Cyber School Technology Solutions Initiative. Old methods of teaching are also still quite valuable. At Mount St. Mary's College, Namagunga, one of the best performing girls' schools in Uganda, excelling in sciences comes as no surprise. In addition to maintaining a number of well-equipped laboratories where students learn various practical science lessons, the school also rears its own mice in this small room next to the biology lab. With such contact with various learning tools for sciences, the school stays on top, offering quality education to those who go through its system.
This school helped me discover myself. When I came here, I was convinced I wanted to be a lawyer. And I was convinced I wanted to be a lawyer up to my senior 3. But during my stay here, S1, S2, I particularly enjoyed biology. I loved biology so much, and I kept insisting for a while that, no, I'm going to do law, but I really liked biology and I was so good at the subject. And it came to a point where I said, no, I really do like biology. I have to keep going with biology. And in the end, I discovered that I'd rather do medicine. I'd rather be in the medical field than do law.
The school library is well stocked with many different volumes of different categories of books. It has many sections that present students a chance to read on their own, do research, and prepare for exams.
We have a very lovely library. I like the library. It has all the books we require, all the necessary books, and we have encyclopedias, recent ones, 2007. We have newspapers. We have a lot of reading material which helps us out. On top of the library, the school gives us books, textbooks for the term. The departments, each department gives us books relevant to the subject we're studying.
Private sector investment in education has led to the establishment of several private-run, high-quality secondary schools across the country, an aspect that is encouraged by the Uganda government through policies that foster public-private sector partnership. The Ministry of Education guarantees that quality of education offered in these privately owned schools is high by ensuring that teachers are well trained and the schools are well regulated. Taiba High School attracts students from different countries, which gives it a truly cosmopolitan student population. The teacher-student ratio is low, allowing attention to each individual student's needs and a closer interaction with teachers that builds confidence amongst the students.
Well, in Taiba, first of all, to begin with the teachers, they are different in that they are friends, they are mentors, and they are tutors at the same time. They are always there for students, whether staying at school or not staying at school, they will be around at any time of the day. They will provide information regardless of whether or not you're their student in class. And they are always welcoming and hospitable people.
You can lose something and everyone gets involved, students, teachers, everything. And then the teaching environment, the teaching staff themselves, they are so good. They go to every measure to make sure that everyone has understood, to make sure we have passed. And if you're one of the weaker students, we do have extra lessons for those weaker students.
Cindy Obath, 16 years, comes from Kenya and is the deputy head prefect of the school, referred to as the vice president. What is her experience of studying in Uganda?
It's very exciting because you get to meet very different people here, people of different nationalities, different personalities, and it's so exciting.
How about the learning environment?
It's different from, well, Nairobi, because there's no hustle and bustle. It's very quiet, especially where Taiba is. It's quiet and peaceful, and it helps me put my mind at rest and get down to the serious work.
Okay, my mom believes Uganda has the best education system, so she wanted me to have the best, so I came here.
Religion played an important role in the establishment and spread of formal education in Uganda and is still held highly in religious-founded schools. Daily prayers are held in schools to cater for students' beliefs and ensure that by being away from home during school days, they're never far for religious guidance. Faith and moral uprightness, they believe, keeps students disciplined and is emphasized in certain schools according to the values of the institution and its founders. At King's College Buddo, an Anglican church-founded school whose alumni have dominated Uganda's judiciary for years, the day starts with morning prayers in the school's chapel. Teachers use computers to teach and prepare students for a highly competitive, fast-modernizing global society. In addition, students have a diversity of subjects to learn, both in and outside the classroom, and an opportunity to explore their different abilities as they prepare for the different career paths that they will take. 13-year-old Mutoya, for instance, has just joined King's College Buddo.
In the beginning, we were a group of friends who wanted to come to this school. And we all ended up coming here, at least most of us. And then when we came here, we found out that it was worthwhile for us to come here, since the education facilities are worthwhile and its position in the schools countrywide is quite conversant, and it performs well in the national exams.
In this serene environment on a 3/4 of a square mile piece of real estate away from Kampala city noise, where the school was established to cater for the educational needs of the chief's children, it remains an ideal place to learn, where the old meets the new. Leadership skills are one of the aspects that the school continues to promote. Campaigning for student leadership is a rigorous affair, where the students engage the candidates in a debate until they are thoroughly convinced of one's leadership abilities, an element that is particularly useful for leadership when the students finish school.
It's the students that are running the school. The teachers are they're patrons. They just encourage the students, but the students run the system. That one gives them the opportunity to grow into leaders, to develop their self-esteem, and to start managing themselves. Because if you're going to manage others, you start with yourself. And so someone who comes from Buddo, you see in the world is a very confident person.
Games and sports are encouraged in all schools so as to achieve a holistic education. Students take part in different sporting disciplines which are part of the education curriculum. Regular participation in sports helps recognize talent in athletic activities and provides an opportunity to achieve a healthy mind in a healthy body, an excellent state for learning. Trophies won during competition among school boosts students' morale and instills a culture of pride amongst the students. Talent in music and drama flourish in most teaching and learning institutions. Students adapt set plays and play character roles that they would otherwise read in their literature books, which makes it a splendid tool for learning. Music and dance performances enable students to socialize, showcase their talent, and performance allows them to develop character, explore various cultures, and relax, particularly while not attending to classwork. Pamela Turinawe, 19, is a senior 6 student at Taiba High School who puts music and dance as her main extracurricular activity.
I use my free time creating dances because I choreograph the dances for the National Theatre production. So I use up my free time creating dances. Then sometimes when we have shows in school, like the Interact Club organized the dance challenge, so I also do those dances, African night and stuff like that.
The National Examination Board, UNEB, is responsible for the setting of national exams at both primary and secondary levels of education. Strict procedures of conducting national exams based on the curriculum ascertain conformity in teaching in all schools and guarantee the same quality of education in various schools. Equipped with a high-tech plant for printing examination materials and a thorough record-checking process, UNEB is making certain that the national examinations are well planned and monitored to minimize leaking and ensure that those who pass are well deserving of their grades they get.
Here it is a system which is known. After 7 years there is a national exam, and this one assesses the competences at that level. After senior 4 there is an exam, national exam, with the comparable standards for all the candidates and all the schools, and then there are the A-level exam, and at university levels we have the law in place to regulate the programs at university.
The assessment process is also constantly reviewed to take in new methods of learning and teaching, as well as keep abreast with the changing global teaching environment.
It is intended that we introduce what is called continuous assessment, and also that we are able to continuously monitor and assure ourselves that learning is taking place. So rather than children simply go to class and subject to whatever content the teacher has with him or before him or her, we are saying that at every stage we must determine what the learning competencies should be, so that at the end of that stage we are able to measure and see whether learning has actually taken place. So all these are also measures intended to improve the quality of education in this country.
Uganda enjoys a high growth rate in the tertiary education sector because a university degree is highly desirable in a population with a growing middle class. The growth of both private and publicly owned universities is being encouraged by conducive policies on education. Specialized universities, like Mbara University of Science and Technology, have been set up to cater the country's need of trained medical personnel and other scientists.
Through the private-public sector relationship and policy, we are now counting on about 20 private universities. We have 5 universities as a government, but then the 15 are private universities. And that is a big investment in terms of the resources which are invested from the private sector.
Makerere University, founded in 1922 as a college affiliate to the University of London, is the oldest university in the East African region and Uganda's biggest public university. It later became one of the colleges of the University of East Africa and is a much sought-after campus that trained the top echelon of East African leaders.
This actually been the center of education for a long time, and we attracted many from East Africa to train from here. And not only East Africa, you go down to Southern Africa, Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, many of their people train from here.
Today, Makerere University admits 2,000 students on government scholarships every year and has a total student population of 34,000 pursuing professions in both sciences and humanities. The private admission of students for this age-old institution has opened the possibilities of expansion, engaging in new developments on the campus, and opening of new faculties. The libraries at Makerere University have a big catalogue of books, which offers students an on-campus facility to retreat and study on their own. The strategically located computer labs give students a place to use modern methods of study. The university attracts collaborators and is a highly recognized destination for students seeking to investigate further into their chosen disciplines.
I think this is the best research institution we have in the region.
Uganda Christian University in Mukono, set up on an 86-acre piece of real estate, is well located near the capital city Kampala, but far enough for the university to escape the noise and congestion of an urban university. This private university admits 5,000 students at its main campus and 2,000 students at its constituent college in the various disciplines. It has mission of increasing a number of smaller colleges in all regions across Uganda.
We already have really the first constituent college in the country in Kabale, Bishop Barham University College, which is part of Uganda Christian University, is offering our programs and is now fully a part of the university.
Admitting more students in science disciplines is high on their agenda.
We're aware of the tremendous need to develop science and technology here in Africa, and we are trying to move our programs to have a proper balance of humanities and social sciences on the one hand and science and technology on the other. That's not something that can be done overnight because it involves both change of the intake system. It also requires you to build laboratories and other facilities. But we are working on that, and we hope that in about 10 years we can have almost an even balance of students doing science courses and students doing humanities courses.
By setting up facilities that teach practical science courses like nursing, the university is already on the right track to attain its set objectives. Winfred Kabonesa Rurangaranga is a mature student at Uganda Christian University Mukono, pursuing a degree in nursing. She's already a registered nurse and a midwife, just like the rest of her classmates, and has practiced nursing for the last 30 years. What does she hope to get by attaining a nursing degree?
Actually, in my district, I will be the only now nurse with the degree level. So most of the work I will have to do is administration, and also I'll be able to teach other nurses what I have learned here, especially the nursing process.
It is Orientation Week at Kampala International University, one of the larger private universities in Uganda, which is attracting a big number of students from neighboring countries in the region. Students who come from a different education structure register for access to classes, which makes it easy for them to catch up with their Ugandan counterparts. Its cosmopolitan student population has a chance of attending classes on either one of the two campuses, one located in suburban Kampala and another in western Uganda dedicated specifically to teaching medicine. Students attending university here enjoy Uganda's hospitality, create regional social bonds, and take advantage of an affordable fee structure.
I chose to come here because the education here is relatively cheap. I get to interact with some of the people from East Africa, and I came here for Bachelor's of Law.
It's a nice place to be with. The people are warm, they are welcoming, they are friendly. And KIU as an institution, it exposes you to a lot of nationalities, you know. I've met people from Rwanda, Tanzania, Somali, Kenya, you know, Philippines and China, you know, in the institution. So it exposes you. It's like like the name is an international university, and it is really international in the content of the students that you have.
I think Uganda is a very good country for studies because there are a lot of foreigners coming for Uganda to study, and I think that's a great thing because people actually, Uganda has a great name for education.
Tertiary education caters for development of skilled craftsmen and women needed for growing industrialization and other sectors that need skilled manpower. Vocational training courses are available at the different BITVET institutions spread across Uganda. Nakawa Vocational Training Institute started in 1971 through collaboration between the Uganda government and the government of Japan. It offers tertiary education in useful skills courses for craftsmen and technicians. The Japanese government assists the institution in training of trainers and provides modern training equipment. The institute has since been offering courses in electricity, electronics, machinery, vehicle mechanics, sheet metal and plumbing, welding, and woodwork. It admits close to 600 students who graduate with a Uganda Craftsman Trade Test Certificate. 85% of the students who graduate from here find easy job placement, and 10% of the graduates become self-employed skilled craftsmen and women. Fishing is a major trade, particularly for communities living around the numerous freshwater bodies across Uganda. As fish processing and export becomes a major income earner for the country, training in fisheries is even more important at this training institute run by the Ministry of Education, located right at the shores of Lake Victoria. Skilled manpower in the field will create a sustainable fishing sector.
Our role as Fisheries Training Institute is to train people, technical people in fisheries management and boat building. This addresses the problem of fisheries resource management as well as water transport in the country.
Uganda continues to grow as a powerful player in education, a destination for quality, affordable education in the East African region, and an influential actor in the academia for the foreseen future.
Many of the products of our institutions here, even when they join universities in the Western world, have actually performed with distinction. Within the region here, Uganda's products have very easily fitted within the countries where some of them have continued in pursuit of their careers, either professional or within the employment market.